All right, you've already seen the title. So I had a mild intuition of how to target this. I could guess what their schemas look like, what their APIs look like. And other than that, it was just finding two small vulnerabilities. Given those two vulnerabilities, it was fairly easy to scrape all of the data for all the users that exist in the database, all the purchases they have made, what is their total GMV, what is the platform fee, so on and so forth. So let me share a little bit about what those vulnerabilities were. Then it's a live coding session. After I found those vulnerabilities, I sort of wrote a script to scrape everything. So that's going to be part 2. A lot of the part 2 is blurred for privacy reasons and other obvious reasons. Last video I put out like this, I had to take down because of copyright reasons. So everything is mostly blurred. I'm talking through what I'm doing. I'm showing some code snippets from time to time, but mostly part 2 is going to be fairly vague for you unless you're able to think from first principles and try to understand what I'm doing. Part 1, let me just take you through the two small vulnerabilities that they have. Some things that you should keep in mind if you're trying to build any platform, not just an EdTech platform. These were fairly generic vulnerabilities that existed. All right, so they basically had two set of vulnerabilities. I'll share a little bit about what the vulnerability is, only a little bit, because I of course don't want them to patch it. If they see this video, there's a high probability they'll probably see the video. There is one that leaks all their user data. There is another that leaks all the not all the purchases, but given a user ID, it returns you the purchase of this user. The very first endpoint I was able to find was this one. I actually first had to buy the course. When I bought the course, I saw I was hitting this endpoint, let's say /API/purchase, and it was returning me back my whether or not I had purchased the course. Then I tweaked something a little bit. Now what that something is a fairly common vulnerability. I'm not saying what that is, but somewhere in the request that's going out to the server, one small thing I had to change here. And then given any user ID, not just my user ID, given any user ID, I would be able to get back whether or not they had purchased the course. So this was the very first vulnerability I found. Then all I had to do was estimate all their user IDs. Now they don't have numerical user IDs. They have UUIDs as every user ID. So I could not just estimate user ID 1, 2, 3, 4. I needed some way to get all of their users. So the second, this is less of a vulnerability, more of a feature only. They're a community app, less of a YouTube-like video app. By community app, I mean they have this feature of a leaderboard, a community portal where you can see other people. So here they have an endpoint that you can hit to get back profile images, IDs of users, because you'll see them on the feed. So this is less of vulnerability. Okay, you should ideally be able to only dump let's say 30 users, 40 users. This should be rate limited very badly. You should be able to only fetch the details of the users whose posts you are seeing on their community feed. But they have an endpoint where you can literally /whatever users / prefix equal to let's say HAR and limit equal to let's say 40. An endpoint like this, which if you hit, it will give you all the users whose name starts with HAR with total of 40 users. But if you make this limit infinite, which basically means a very big number, and you change HAR or the prefix to be nothing, then they'll basically dump all the user data. So basically this is less of vulnerability, but one thing that was needed to be able to exploit the second endpoint. To recap, the first feature would give you all their users data. Now more specifically, the thing that you're worried about was the ID of all the users, because if you have the ID of all the users, you could use this second purchase endpoint that is slightly vulnerable. This is actually a vulnerable endpoint because you can tweak the request a little bit and change the response, or get the response for a different user. All I had to do was brute force this for all the users, and amongst let's say the 5 million users that they had, 20,000, 30,000 were paid users, whatever that ratio was. That would give you all the users of this specific educator and all the purchases of this specific educator. If you have the purchases, you can estimate everything, the revenue of the educator. If you do this for all educators on the platform, you can estimate the GMV of the bigger platforms, so on and so forth. I'm not saying whether or not I've done that, but if you want, you can do it. That's pretty much it. Rest of it you will find in the video. The video starts after I found both of these vulnerabilities, and specifically this second vulnerability required something extra, which you'll see me transfer from one laptop to another. Then you'll see me write the code to first dump all the user data, and then iterate over all the users and hit all the purchases in some rate limited fashion, so I don't overwhelm their servers / get blocked. With that, let's get into the coding bit. All right, welcome to a hacking stream. I think I've been able to find something that should lead us to get all the purchases on this website. I have two laptops. The other laptop has most of the stuff, so let me just move some things from here to here, specifically, and we'll go from there. I'm just thinking of the most secure way to do it. I don't want to post. So I'm trying to find the IP of my other machine, which is somewhere here. I can find it. Come on. It is oh. So the way I find IPs is I run ifconfig. When I run ifconfig, it gives me a very big blob, and it's very hard to filter out the exact thingy. So let's see. Can you give me my local address? I just am pasting it on. Oh, there you go. 192.168.1.3. So I'm going to go here on 192.168.1.3. And now I'm going to start a quick server here that will start to share my files. Specifically, I'm supposed to share this. So what I can do is run serve. And it's running on 3000. So if I go to 3000 here and copy over, which of course it doesn't let me show because I'm in the wrong folder. cat.nc.serve. One more time, if I refresh this, I get a somewhere here. There we go. This is what I was looking for. Now let me close it. These are the everything else. So let me now go to my code, go to create a really quickly, and now I have that and everything in this folder. Now I need to do a bunch of which I hate doing, but chalo. How do you do? Let's see. We can just look at the code here. Do they have? All right. So we're going to do a yarn add, and then I'm going to maybe create a similar import from const I don't know what people use this for. Look at that. What is the issue here, sir? Guess I just need to pad this for TypeScript to be a little happier. No, it's fine. I think this code is correct, which is why I'm going to TS ignore this for now. We have the promise. Alrighty, and now this is what I'm going to use in other places. Let's see where this is used here. Go to blog. There. Alright, so all I have to do is this import, or let's define with the function. Start with a function called get users, and I'm going to say const users equal to or const. That is good enough, and then pretty much it. This should return us the for now. So basically, maybe just store them in a file. Function main get users dot then store them in a file. So rather than console.logging it, I'll do fs dot import fs from fs dot write sync, and I'm going to write it to users.txt. If I write this once, I don't have to. Oh, what the fuck? Write file sync users.json with this JSON stringified data. Let's call main over here, and that is going to be a good starting point for us to just dump all the users. The one thing I'm missing is npm install and doing require is there already. That looks good. Let's do a tsc-b to compile this code, node disk/index.js to run it. It is taking a long time because I'm assuming they have a lot of users, so we will wait for all their users to get dumped onto our file system. We'll go from there. All right. That is step one. Step two, let me just, while this happens, start to write the rest of the code. After you get the users, which now I can comment up because we already have it in the database, I would rather just const users equal to fs.read file, and then maybe const parsed users equal to json.parse users. Let's see what users.json looks like. It looks something like this. It looks pretty decent. It has an array of elements. Yeah, that looks right. Let's just do a user and then do a const console.log parsed users.length. This will print the total number of users. Fuck, shouldn't have done that. All right, let's comment this, let's uncomment this, and let's store this to users2.json, tsc-p, and node index.js. How many users do they have? They have a lot of users. All right, let's try that one more time. Sorry about that. There you go. The query was quicker, but still is taking some time to store it in the file, which is fine. How much was this in size? Let's see. Meanwhile, while this is happening, what we have to do is get all the users, and basically for something like this. Now here comes the question of, do we want to send batch requests or not? We probably do. I hate writing that code always, because it's like some fucking math logic you have to write. Dot push, I would say let promises equal to an empty array, and then I would say promises dot push find if premium user dot email function find if premium will const response equal to await axios dot get. This will be const URL equal to, what is the URL again? This thing right here. So something like this. And if response dot data dot then we should probably push this to a global array. Let final submissions, or final users equal to, let's say, an empty array, and then final users dot push, I would say that should be good enough. We push this to the final users array. That is correct. Maybe do one more thing here. All right, this looks good. Promise.push, this thing is an async function. Promise is equal to promise of any array. Void array is good. User.email, user.username. Wow, it's taking a long time for it to fill on the users, which means a lot of users. All right, we have the batch size equal to what is that? If batch.length equal to batch.size, I would await the promises, and then promises would become 0. Let's make this an async function, and then when that happens, you can log a few things. let's make this 20 or 25 maybe. 20 is good enough. console.log done with itne users. console.log total paid users is whatever. Final users.length. Alrighty, that looks good. That is good enough. Don't need anything else. This is taking a really long time for it to get stored in users2.json. How big is it? Let's see, open dot, and if I open users2.json, do a get info on it, it is pretty big. It's not too much actually. Then why is this taking such a long time? Is the size increasing? Let's see. One only. Okay, how big is users dot JSON? Get info. Seems like it might have all the users. I of course could be wrong. No, it's like partially filled right now. Never mind. But why are you taking such a long time, sir? Then, unless I don't have space on my machine, which I do. Okay, what is the structure? It's just email. Oh God. Fuck, they have like another, I guess. Come on, we don't have the time. I don't have all day here. That looks decent. Yeah, we just need to, that's fine. Or even more specifically, we can just do this. We don't need anything else. We need even another. So fuck the users. So yeah, basically once users, just make this users, if I'm being honest. If you really want to get fancy, then you don't do this. Forget this and do const users equal to await get users, and then you're good to go. You don't need any of this. You should ideally store this in a text file, if I'm being honest. So this is not the worst thing in the world, but let's not do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. 10:46. We need to finish this by 11 because I need to drop off after that. So we have this users. Okay, cool. Let me comment this for now. Let me call this past users. It's fine. So you don't need any of that. User to purchase of I. Fine. Promises at push find if premium, which checks user premium, and we get a user.email and user name. That's exactly what we want. So how can we? Yeah, really the question I have is, why is it not able to store things in a file? Usernames 2.json. Let's do this thing. Before that, let's do a console.log past user.length, console.log past users of 0, just to make sure the schema is what I think it is. And then let's return right here for now. Alrighty, we're going to store everything in a node dist/index.js. Alrighty, what the fuck did I ended up blocking? people have spaces in their username. All right, it takes a long time for it to get stored in a file. I don't know why, which is not the best thing, because I'm a little too much now, but this is fine. This is exactly what I needed. So what I'm going to do now is past users is equal to await get usernames of 0. That's what has the right schema, and then you just you go willy-nilly, which is what we're doing. User underscore ID and email. So it needs to be user underscore ID and then email. That looks right. Let's not worry about writing this. My only other worry now is 𝗥𝗲𝗵𝗹𝗀𝗀 begins to choke us. So I'm going to put this inside the try catch, and if it ever catches, I'm going to log that specific email for a retry later on. This is where asynchronous programming might become useful / needed. Not log error sending request to Cloudflare. Alrighty guys, moment of truth. Batch size is 20, which is good enough. You're sending 20 requests at a time. Done with these many users. Total paid users is this much. The other side I'm assuming is the other set of users, user.id and email. That looks fine. Should I be logging this at the end? I should be writing this to a purchases.json. Okay, these are the final set of users who have bought the course after we're done with everyone. All right, we have to go through. This might take a really long time, but I think I've written the right code before 10 minutes before 11, so that's good. Let me not log these two. Promises.push find if premium. All right. Let's see. Oh, that's happening a little too fast. Something's wrong. Oh, oopsie daisy. If promises.length is this thing. There we go. What is happening? I just had. Sometimes you might think this is so random. I come into his room and he's like, oh god, this was so much fun. Recording the whole thing while I was hacking. Okay, bye guys. I will let you know the final result.